Shalom. Call halal Yahweh by Shana Shai by Shem Rakak. Double honors unto the apostles, double honors unto the elder bishops. Salutations to all my fellow laborers doing this work in truth and sincerity, risking their lives and their freedom to do so. Now more so than ever. To the scattered elect that are scattered around the four corners of the earth, among the heathen that look like the heathen, and to the Akwaf that are listening and learning, to you I say Shalom. This is your brother Malcolm from the branch of the Great Millstone here in Chicago, coming at you with another lesson in truth. I'm actually doing a response to a comment on the comment board by this opinionated, unlearned individual called X Diesel X. And this was from the video, Ancient Egyptians and Sub-Saharan Africans were one and the same. White lies destroyed. All right. And it's went up on two channels. It went up on the Critical Race Historical Facts channel, the original, and then it also went up on gmsmaccabeanspiritba. All right, meaning two. And there was a couple different people that spoke against the truth, but this guy is, was the comment that was a little bit irritating, so I had to respond. And this is from X Diesel X, and it reads, "LOL, sure they were. Went from building pyramids and monuments in North Africa to tents, huts, and igloos." All right. There is no top structures and monuments anywhere in sub-Saharan Africa. All of you run to Egypt thinking that that was your civilization. I think he should have directed that portion of the comment to those Pan-African individuals, because Israelites don't think that at all. It says, and try to make it a part of your whole Africa. No such thing as one race continent. Nobody is genetically part of an entire continent. It was brown skin near East Levant civilization. Don't get it twisted. All right. So, and then he makes another comment. No, then I said, it looks like my first didn't even show up. But I said, barely 2 years ago, they dug up a 5,000-year-old tomb untouched in Egypt. And all the images of chocolate-colored people inside. Right? Proving that they were dark-complected people. And yes, the people of the continent of Africa, until the Israelites got mixed and mingled upon them, fleeing from Roman persecution, during the 70 AD. All right? That was the land of Ham, all right, as it tells you in both the Young's Dictionary Bible and the Zondervan's Dictionary Bible. And these are Hamites too, and this is actually sub-Saharan African. This proving him a lie right there, because even the Hamites had carving skills and things of that nature, because these are images that are left of them in their own lands. So that's a lie. This doesn't look like a civilization that didn't know how to carve and build things. So we got the evidence right there proving him a lie on that, as referring to Ham, which we could care less about. But as a matter of fact, let me get that scripture. Same scripture I brought out in the first lesson, which comes out when this subject matter comes up anyway. This is Psalms 85:11. And it reads, "Truth shall spring out of the earth, and righteousness shall look down from heaven." And these images are evidences and proofs of the past. Let me move these two books and show you the title of these books that we're dealing with. This is images in black and Western art from the pharaohs to the fall of the Roman Empire. And what it's showing you here is you can see the transgression from dark Japhetic people to white people, all right, to so-called white people, okay? And Japhet was a Negroid type people, all right? They were dark melanated people, but they weren't the same people, all right? And as a matter of fact, to prove that, because if anyone is constantly stating the fact that the Israelites don't identify. I just realized I can't. Let me try this. Try to get that glare off. It's not working. Salakia. Let's see. Just trying to figure out a way around that glare. But that's all right. Whoa, I just hit. But nevertheless, we're constantly telling you, the Hebrew Israelites that the whole world was melanated until Esau, Edom was born. But just because, what's the saying that we say that all skin folk ain't kinfolk, all right? So we're going to look up the definition of Ham, all right? Since we're looking at Hamites right now, these are Philistines, all right? The same people that David slew when he was warring with the Philistines, all right? And this book is a really good one that was put up by Giorgio Ferreira, and it's called Egypt, History of the Treasures of Ancient Egyptian Civilization. All right? But this is the definition of Ham. So let's read it. Okay? I'm going to try to read it through the lens here. All right? And it reads, Ham, the son of Noah and father of Cush, Egypt put in Canaan. See further on each of these four. While they all may have been dark-skinned, they were not. Trying to bring it in the frame. The forefathers of the Negroid races. That would be the Israelites. Rather, the peoples associated with Egypt in the north of the continent of Africa, the Egyptians thought Canaan as one of their provinces even into the very late times. So everything in North Africa and above North Africa, what they ignorantly and falsely refer to as the Middle East today, all right, because you got to remember it wasn't called that until the mid 1800s when the East India Trading Company, because it was started calling that because it was midway in between Britain and India. Okay, so we'll go to page 88 and see the actual Negroid peoples. All right, or here you go. These are actual Israelites, the sheep herders. It tells you how Jacob came into Egypt, 70 souls. All right, these brown complected people with afros, wavy woolly hair and braids. All right, these were the sons of Jacob that came in. All right, and then as you're looking at these Hamites and these slaves that are building up the workers in Egypt, what you don't see is the Rosenbergs. All right? That's what you don't see there. And someone tried to, made the comment that the people in Egypt were pale complexion, and that's a complete and total lie. But let me grab, I think that was Exodus. Exodus 2 and 19. Let's go to that real quick. And it reads, and they said, an Egyptian delivered. Let me start up a little bit before. All right. I'm going to start at verse 16. The point is in 19. And it reads, now the priest of Midian had several daughters. All right. And this is that area that we're talking about. North of, and northeast of northwest of North Africa. All right. And it says, now the priests of Midian had 7 daughters, and they came and drew water and filled the draughts, water for their the troughs. Salaki filled the troughs to water their father's flock, and the shepherds came and drove them away. But Moses stood up and helped them and watered their flock. And they came to Ruel, their father, and he said, how is it that ye are come so soon today? And she said, an Egyptian delivered us out of the hands of the shepherds and drew water enough for us to water the flock. So Moses was mistaken for an Egyptian. All right. And we just talked about the Egyptian tomb that was opened up, and all of the people were chocolate melanated people. They were all dark complected. Now, when these pale people got dominion in Europe. I mean, in Egypt. That was after the rise of Alexander the Great, when I think it's Seleucus or Demetrius, which one of them? Because here are images of Egyptians right here. They were clearly melanated people, not pale complected people. All right. But and here are the Israelites actually building the pyramids in slavery. That's why you never saw any pyramids built in the sub-Saharan, because this when all the Israelites were together, what you do see when you look at these pyramids at the bottom, those pyramids were built just like the ones in South America and here in the Americas, built by the natives. Why? Because they're the same people, a melanated people. All right, and the proof of that is you can go and find that video with Glenn Beck when he asked where's his history, when he showed that how the pyramids in South America and that were built by the natives of the Americas had the same measurements and the same dimensions as the ones that were built in Giza. All right, so the Israelites hadn't built anything in West Africa or sub-Saharan Africa, because they were all living in the so-called Mideast and North African region, until the split of the Northern and the Southern Kingdom. And what did the Northern Kingdom do when they came here to the Americas? They built pyramids. All right, they're all over South America and America. There are pyramids even here in the Americas. All right, they just let the earth swallow them up and grew over them, but they're here. You can research it for yourself. All right, and so we just read the Zondervan's Dictionary Bible about the fact that the Israelites were melanated people, okay, and that the Hamites were also a dark melanated people, but not the forefather of the Negroid races. Well, who are the Negroid races? Well, you call them blacks. All right, you got to remember this, the slave signs that were used in the markets to sell. The slaves always said Negroes for sale. It never said Africans for sale. All right, because there's a difference between the two. All right, but let's go to Amos. This is the book of Amos 9 and 7. All right, and you guys also remember too that the Greek word Ethiopian basically meant anyone who was dark. Wasn't particularly talking about the actual, people who are referred to as the Ethiopians today. All right, it was just a Greek word for dark, for a dark fleshed person. So anyone who was dark was Ethiops to the Egyptians. I mean, not to the Egyptians, but to the Edomite Greeks that took over Greece from these people when this translation happened, when it went from dark to pale. All right, but this is Amos 9 and 7, and it reads, "Are ye not as the children of Ethiopia unto me, O children of Israel, saith Yahweh? Have not I brought up Israel out of the land of Egypt, and the Philistines from captor, and Syrians and Ker?" So once again, let's go back to the Philistines. Israelites, captives building the pyramids. All right, like I said, there's no Rosenbergs there. All right, and then we go back to the beginning of the book to the armies of Philistines. These armies here. There you go. That was the people that David was fighting, and there was a giant among them. These men were also known for their height. And what you have to understand is all the people of North Africa were forced out of there, and most of them fled to sub-Saharan Africa, fleeing persecutions from the Edomites, from the Greeks, the Romans, the new ones, the pale ones, okay, who took over. Now let's read the definition of Ham. We'll just get ready to shut this down. And this is the definition of Ham. You're looking at Hamites, all right? From the Zondervan's Dictionary Bible, okay? Zondervan's Compact Dictionary Bible, and definition of Ham, and it reads, Ham, the youngest son of Noah, born about 96 years before the flood, and one of 8 persons to live through the flood, he became the progenitor of the dark races, not the Negroes, all right, but the Egyptians, the Ethiopians, the Libyans, and the Canaanites. Ta-da. He became the forefathers of those dark African nations. Okay, so there was no imaginary line that separated. You could clearly see the so-called African features on these ancient Egyptians. All right, they were not pale flesh people until after Alexander set up his 4 generals and divided and parted the lands and the kingdoms. And you can find that in the book of Maccabees. First Maccabees, the 1st chapter, gives you that breakdown. So with that, I hope this was edifying. Call halal Yahweh by Shem Shai, by Hashem Rakakwadash, Wa Abba Babal Kwam Yasharala Shalom.